It's very possible that some of you don't even know that I have this plant. It's just fine. What am I doing? Why have I let this get this far? I have so many plants in my collection, nearly 200 at this point, that there are definitely some I have that I do not talk about near enough or show you near enough, or I don't know, they don't get the attention they deserve. They're a little bit forgotten about, and that's my bad. But I'm going to be seeking some out and sharing some with y'all today, giving them the recognition they deserve as really cool plants within my collection, even though I never really talk about them ever. Before we get into that though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, thank you so much for returning. I really appreciate it. Now let's go find some of these plants that I forget about. Here we've got my little forgotten plant family. Oh my goodness. They're so stinking cute. Even though I don't think about them very much, I do really like them still. So let's sit down again and I can tell you all about them. Okay, shall we start with the biggest one first, because it's literally it's such a big plant for me to forget about / not talk about at all. So this is my Norfolk Island pine, and I got this last Christmas time as a replacement for a Christmas tree. Over the years, I have had many a Christmas tree, both potted and not, and this past year, I was recommended to get a Norfolk Island pine because they give Christmas tree vibes. But they are a somewhat tropical plant, and they can live throughout the year and be perfectly fine in my fairly humid, fairly warm home. And it's actually been doing really, really well since I've had it. I've just had it on my office shelves, and underneath the grow light, it has actually popped out quite a bit of new growth in there. It's even got a bit of top growth coming in, which is pretty cool because I think the top was already cut when I got it. But basically nearly all of this layer is pretty new here, and it is very exciting. It is a really cool one. It has a fun texture, very much so looks like a Christmas tree, though it is definitely not. But I just have it in my little bow tied pot, and I will keep it forevermore as my little mini replacement Christmas tree that I can decorate each year. It's very possible that some of you don't even know that I have this plant. I forget about this one so much. I haven't opened this jar in months, if not years. So within this jar I think I had a couple of things. I might only have, oh no, I still have a couple things. They're just, the main one in here is the one that is coming out at the top here. I probably need to take it out, you know, but it is the ficus villosa, which this is the weirdest ficus I have ever seen in my entire life. I got this in a plant swap with Sophie Wholesome Houseplants, one of my plant friends, like a couple years ago when we did a mystery plant swap, and she gave me this one, and it is so cool, and it's got the leaves are covered in tiny little hairs. Did I just knock that leaf off? Oops, whatever. But it's covered in these tiny little hairs, and they're these fuzzy little leaves. Oh my gosh, can you hear that? ASMR. That's the sound of me stroking the little hairs on the leaves. But I've just had it in this little geranium climbing up this cork bark for, like I said, literal years. And I don't even know what to do with it now, though. Obviously it has gotten to the point where it is probably ready to come out, but I don't, do I want to take it out? Do I want to grow it in a bigger jararium? I really don't know. Maybe I could chop it and like prop it to go back into the bottom, and then I can have two growing up this bark, really fill out my little jararium. Maybe that's the best bet, but genuinely, I never opened this jar, and so I haven't put water in it in years. But you can still see, because it's sealed, there is condensation on it, and like it's still got plenty of moisture in there. So it's just a fun thing that I literally never think about. And the cork bark is doing really well in here. It does lean forward quite a bit. I wish I could get it to stay upright, but whatever, it's fine. For now, and potentially for eternity, I am just going to pop the lid back on this and probably not think about it for another couple of years. I have a little peperomia here. I think this is the peperomia pink lady or freckles. It's one of the two, but it is a little variegated. This isn't necessarily my favorite type of peperomia. I do have this guy as well, the sarcophylla, but I absolutely love that. It's like such a different thing to this sort of peperomia. This sort of peperomia just doesn't quite do it for me. It's just not really my cup of tea. I think the only reason why I've continued with this one, which I propped from a literal leaf cutting, is because it is variegated, and that just adds a little bit more like fun and whimsy to it. If it weren't variegated, I would probably move it on, and maybe I will move it on. Actually, the new leaves are coming out entirely green. So maybe I'll wait for those to come in, and if those come in and don't have any variegation on them, she's leaving. She's not coming back. I don't think I need to necessarily have this peperomia in my home. It's cute, but like I never reach for it. I never think about it in terms of like my favorite plants or anything. It's just fine. It's just a shame because I love like this sort of variegation where it's like a tiny bit pink, but mostly white and green splatteries. Really stinking cute. Well, we'll see how it goes with this one. I don't know. Also, like, it is massively wobbly in this pot. I really desperately need to put some more soil in it. I just haven't. Oops. Okay, next up, we've got this guy. This is the dischidia platyphylla, I believe. And it is a really cool little weird one. With these curly taco, ravioli, tortellini leaves. And I haven't really found the right place for this one in my home. For a while it was living in my acrobar, and now it's kind of just living out on my plant shelves. And it's just kind of there. I really like the way these look when they're super duper long and hanging down. I think they look great. At this size, I don't really like this plant. I think it just kind of looks a bit sad. So I'm hoping that I can get it to grow bigger, and if I can, and it continues to like hang down nicely with these cool little raviolis, I think I'll absolutely love it. But as it is right now, I'm just like, you look kind of funny and I don't really like it. So that's really bad, but hopefully in time I can get this one to grow more and do the thing that I want it to do, but until then, I probably continue to not talk about it, ever. A philodendron that I barely, if ever, speak about. I don't think I've spoken about it really since I got it at one of the London plant swaps last year. This is my philodendron genevievianum, and it's doing pretty freaking well, mind you. The biggest leaf on it when I got it was this size. It does have like water spots on it, and I have washed it, but like they just don't go away. I don't really understand why. Like they'll go away temporarily when it's wet, but then they'll just like kind of appear again. It's very strange. But since then, it has just been, I think, for the most part on my bedroom shelves, but I moved it out of there when I swapped those to be entirely cat friendly. And so now it's living in the office, and it has just been pushing out some really cool growth. It's got these amazing furry stems that are really, really satisfying. I do like a furry stem. I think they're quite fun. And obviously, it's putting out a new leaf as well at the minute, which is super duper exciting. I hope it grows as big as the previous one. And what I love about this one, that I've really struggled with lots of other philodendrons is that the internodal space is super duper tight in there. It is very, very, very compact, and I love that. I struggle so much when philodendrons just like decide to get really like massive. They just stretch out loads if they're not getting like the perfect amount of light, and I struggle with leggy philodendrons quite a lot. But this one has not been like that at all. I probably should get this onto a moss pole. I feel like that's the right vibe for it. Yeah, maybe I'll get it onto a moss pole in a future plant tours video. But for now, she's just chilling, being a really cool one that I never really think about or talk about or look at. Okay, I'm gonna save the most funky one for last. So the penultimate plant I have that I completely always forget that I have is my Hoya serpens. This little thing, I have propped this from, I think, a few tiny little cuttings just in soil prop. It's in the tiniest little pot ever. I could probably upsize it at this point because it is getting quite heavy for itself. But it has grown so well considering I don't think about it. This one lives in my IKEA cabinet in my little Hoya box with my other sort of small Hoyas. But I think she's getting to the point where she's ready to graduate into a new space. I don't know, because I really like having this one hanging. I don't think I would enjoy this guy on a trellis. I just really like this sort of really bushy. This is what I wish my peperomia prostrata string of turtles would look like. This sort of really bunchy, thick, big leaf. These are big for string of turtles, but like pretty average sized for this plant. And they are getting a little bit smaller because they're obviously trailing, and so they probably need something to climb. But I like the vibe of the trailing down so much more than going up for this one in particular. So I don't think I will put it on a trellis. I might just have to continue chopping and propping and probably give it a bigger pot at some point. So yeah, this is a cool, weird one. It's pretty stinking cute. And then last, and probably the strangest, because this is actually quite an uncommon plant, my variegated scindapsus jade satin. Can we just talk about what I have let go on here? What am I doing? Why have I let this get this far and like get so stinking leggy? I don't have it on a trellis. I don't have it trailing down. It's literally, oh, I should probably take that leaf off. It's literally just in my Mills bow cabinet, winding itself around a shelf. And I think potentially part of the issue I am currently having is the leaf that I originally got with it, this one, has nice sort of white creamy variegation. The next one, again, white creamy variegation. And then suddenly it starts going all aurea up in here and like yellow, green, lime variegation, which I am so much less of a fan of. And I'm actually really sad about. So all of the subsequent leaves, all the variegation, this one's still emerging. You can kind of see it in there. I'm pretty sure this is a photosynthesized, what is it? Polaroid variegation? That's what it's called. Where the leaf comes out looking fully green and then it'll slowly expose the variegation. This is one of those, so they're like still exposing on these leaves. Like it'll get lighter and lighter, but they never actually get to this lovely white creamy color. Look at the difference in that between the old leaves and the new ones. Why have they stopped going creamy? It makes me sad. And I think that's kind of why I ignore this one, because it isn't growing necessarily the way I want to. Potentially it could be because I chopped it at that point, and then all of the new growth from there has gone yellow. But that genuinely does not make any freaking sense at all. Like, why would it be different? It's the same genes. It's from the same growth point that this leaf came out of. I don't understand, and I have just let this one get a little bit too funky, and maybe it's time for me to let go of this one, because if it's not growing the way I want, then I probably shouldn't keep it on in my collection. But it makes me sad because I do freaking love a scindapsus. I do freaking love a variegated scindapsus, and the potential this one had. Like, if all of the leaves looked like this, I'd be showing you this plant every freaking week, but they don't look like this. It just puts a bit of a damper on the whole plant for me, unfortunately. So, I mean, I feel bad ending this on such a negative note. Like, it's still an absolutely gorgeous plant, and I'm sure someone would freaking love it, and maybe I just sell it on, but I never talk about it, and that is why. So that is it. Those are some houseplants that even I forget that I have sometimes. Whoops. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it encouraged you to maybe pay attention to some of those plants that you have not been paying attention to or have forgotten about in your collection. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future. If you want to see these plants more often, also let me frickin' know, and I can try and be more on top of it with them. But otherwise, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Don't forget to keep growing.